Let's talk about something else that's so important on the face. As you all know, I am not a makeup artist, and I'm not very good with makeup, to be honest with you, but something that makes a huge difference is the brow. And Pur Minerals makes a lovely way to achieve a beautiful natural brow. It's called Brow Perfection. And I thought this was such a nice offer because it comes with a brush, which is essential. This one's $399,887, and you are receiving, it's 2.8 grams of the actual Brow Perfection, and you can see that it's a split pan. Now, you've given us one color here. Is this going to work for all of us?
It's absolutely going to work. Initially, when I began with the brand, I said the same thing. I said one color for everyone.
And look at your hair color. You've got...
And this is what is in my brow.
Isn't that
yes.
amazing?
I like to dampen my brush personally because I like a little bit of a sharper end on my brow.
Right.
And that also is going to make it a bit darker.
Okay.
But I have put this on anybody from a porcelain all the way up to a medium dark, and it absolutely works.
Okay, fantastic.
So kudos to the creators of this one. It was very impressive.
So talk to us about what's the split pan all about.
You have wax on one side, Tanya. So for anybody out there who's had an unfortunate moment, maybe with the wax, or maybe they've over-tweezed their brows, the wax is genius for emulating hair. So that gives the powder something to adhere to.
Okay.
In addition to taming those little wiry, crazy ones that sort of like to do their own thing and sort of dance above your eye and distract everyone. So the wax is going to hold them in place. And then you're going to use the powder to actually color in and sort of emulate little hairs. And I was going to do a quick demo for you guys to see just how easy
that's
it
great.
is.
All right, well, let's do that. Let me remind you, everyone, you're receiving the Brow Perfection in the split pan plus the brush. And I like this configuration because you really need that brush. So we put it together today at $21. How important are the eyebrows?
Well, to me, it's like a window that's not been dressed, that doesn't have a valance, doesn't have a shade or a curtain. So I think that it's that important. You know, how much more put together does your home look when you dress the windows? And if the eyes are the windows to the soul, then they're the most important windows for us to be dressing.
Now, what about women as we age? How does the brow remain as important, or
even more important to put structure and symmetry back onto the face? So even if you've got great eyes and great eye space, if your brows have started to taper off from the arch out, it's really sort of an incomplete picture. So if you'll go in and just sort of taper off the brow, you know, and put a little more symmetry, it's a great way to frame out the eye space without having to wear a ton of eyeshadow or a ton of makeup.
So this will work for women that have over-tweezed. This will work for women that feel like they have a lot of eyebrow, but as you get older, you can get some more sparse areas. So you want to be able to fill in. What about somebody who's gone through a really tough time with medication and has lost all their hair, their eyebrows, everything? Will this work?
It's very tricky for them, and I think that this is so much more natural looking than a pencil for that person who has absolutely no eyebrow left. You simply put on the wax to grab the powder.
Right.
Use little short, sort of feathery strokes, but literally just chunk, 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 little dashes to connect them. It looks completely natural, stays all day. The brows aren't going to come off. Your brow isn't going to migrate away into your hairline.
Okay, fantastic. And the other thing I want to ask you, what about the guys?
Oh my gosh, so important.
Because I have noticed a lot of guys lose half their eyebrow.
Yes, and they have their Charlie Chaplin half brow.
Yes, and it's kind of schnauzer looking.
And they don't want to look like they have on brow makeup. So extremely, extremely wearable and believable. Look how believable that looks. I would never guess she had anything in her brow.
Beautiful. So again, everyone, very popular. It's the Brow Perfection and the Brow Brush. And this is top rated online at theshoppingchannel.com. Carmen from Sherwood Park wrote in. She said this is the best brow kit ever. She's been using it for 8 years. Easy application, it lasts, and she's also introduced it to her daughter who has very sensitive skin. And thank you, Carmen. She's from Sherwood Park. That's great to hear from you. Yes.